our forensics lab. So today we'll discuss about forensic psychological tools, both narco analysis and BEOS profiling. Okay. So first of all, I would really like to know who has a little bit or maybe more information about narco analysis and BEOS profiling. Yes, you can raise your hand, please. Am I audible? Okay. Okay. Okay, that's really nice. Okay. So, when we think about forensic psychology, most of us who are not even from who are not even not from forensic science background or maybe other background, we think that forensic psychology is something related with lie detectors, such as polygraph, you can say, or maybe profiling. But here are another two add-on tools which are as valuable or we can say as good as polygraph. So we'll discuss upon this, upon narco analysis and BEOS profiling. Both aim to dig into memory and what exactly is hidden in the, you can say, hidden in the brain of offender. Okay, yes. So as you can see, I hope you can see the PPT. The first left hand side, the upper profile, the person is sitting, the photo is taken from the behind. It is of BEOS. How BEOS is conducted. It is the room where the person, the suspect, is made to wear a BEOS cap, which contains electrodes, which which are connected to a machine, which tells us the signal of different brain waves and how different your brain is affected by the knowledge which has been heard. So there is also a speaker where the scenario is been narrated by a forensic psychologist, let's say, or the officer there, the interviewer, you can say. So it has been pre-recorded, and then the narrative of the incident, what exactly happened, is been narrated through the speaker, and the person have to listen to it, and then while listening, while they are listening, what kind of brain waves at which part of the brain are prominent, or what are the changes in the brain waves are being recorded, and the result or the report, as we say, is being generated by the computer itself. Okay. The second photo, right side, where the person is lying down on a bed. He is in actually he is sleeping on a, we can say, a, like a hospital setting, where the narco analysis has been done. Mostly it is done in hospitals, but recently FSL Gandhinagar, they have forensic psychologists. Okay, where a forensic psychologist would go and uh, with also the photograph team from from the forensics lab, the people who are uh, expert in photography and videography are all they also go and they are present while the can I get a thumbs up or a hand raise if you were able to understand or see the picture. Sensational cases, like high profile cases, like on news, but like often they are being misjudged, they are being questioned, they are being scientifically questioned. Yes. Okay, Kanish, you gave me a thumbs down. Were you not able to understand? Please, if you're not able to understand, please write it in the chat box, or please speak up. Okay. Okay, my voice is cracking. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, it feels like it is disconnecting. Sorry, actually, the weather outside is clouds. That's why there is some network issue. Still cracking. Yes. Can anyone write in the chat box, please? Okay. Really sorry. Because there is really bad weather here. It is raining a lot. So, am I audible now clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll re-explain the scenario. Okay, so here in the picture, uh, okay, if I'm not audible, if my voice is cracking, please tell me directly. Unmute yourself and please tell me so we don't lose the time as such. Okay. Uh, yes. So as we can see the picture, are you guys able to see the picture here in the PPT? So left side, the room which is been isolated, no one has been allowed to enter, and this photo is taken from the behind of the suspect. The suspect is set on the table, the chair, and the suspect is the person is मतलब उसको कैप पहनाया जाता है. The person is they okay, the person wears a blue cap, which in which the electrodes are being connected. The uh, electrodes collect the activity of the brain waves. How different kind of brain waves affect when the speaker is on. So here there is a speaker, and there is a pre-recorded scenarios of the crime. For example, let's say the person in the interview have told a scenario. The scenario is been written, and the scenario is been pre-recorded by the forensic psychologist or the officer at present. And then the same scenario is been narrated through the speaker to the suspect while he is being seated on the chair and the electrodes are fitted to his head. So there is a machine which collects the signals from the brain. So it has been recorded that how in the scenario while the story is been narrated, how the brain reacts. Okay. Then there is a computer, there is a software which analyzes this data and the result is been given. So there is no as such any complication. For example, let's say about polygraph, that we have to sit and be alert about the signals or the record. But here we just have to be alert about the situation that the person is staying awake. Okay. And right side photo, there is it is about a narco analysis. It is mostly done in hospitals, but recently there has been opening in FSL. So a room which is created identical to an hospital room, where there is BP machine, where there is heartbeat machine, where there is the machine which we see mostly in movies or series, that I don't exactly know the name, but the machine which shows the senses that the person is alive. Okay, so that machine is there. Then uh, there are doctors. There is one doctor, a physician. There is an anesthetologist, the person who gives anesthesia, and there is a forensic psychologist. Also, there is a team of forensics, photography, and videography, people who are expert in photography and videography, which is not from any different, uh, you can say, out of the government, but the people who already are working in forensics lab are are being allowed to take the videography of the person. Okay, so we can move further. Yes. Okay, I hope I'm clear about the photos here. Were you able to understand? Okay. Okay. So usually what happens that when we think about forensic psychology, we mostly think that it is either of lie detector, it is of polygraph, or maybe some profiling. But here are two important, not least, not last, but these two are also an important tools which are mostly and very well knownly used in India. So we have also heard that, in fact, we all have heard that they are mostly used in sensational cases, high profile cases, like the cases which requires like quick analysis or maybe quick like evidences. These two tools are mostly used. So this both the tool narco analysis as well as BEOS profiling both aim to dig into the memory of suspect to find out the hidden knowledge. Okay, so in this PPT we'll cover what exactly narco analysis and BEOS profiling are, like what are their procedures and how they are being administered. Okay, so here we start with narco. Narco means exactly numb, N-U-M-B, numb, which comes from Greek. So in narco, there is a serum called sodium pentothal, which is used as a as you can say, to reduce the activity of frontal lobe. So the serum, it is also called the truth serum. Okay, and in BEOS is brain electrical oscillation signature. Yes, Ashish.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you told the truth serum. So, ma'am, what is the formula or name of truth serum? Can you repeat?
Sodium
So,
pentothal. Okay, next slide, I have put the name, you can see that also. Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so BEOS is brain electrical oscillation signature, which uh, which detects the ex- like which detects the brain waves of the suspect. So which includes the memory which is included. It comes into scenarios. So in BEOS what happens, that the scenario which is told by the police, then the scenario which is told by the waves are been, the electrical signals by the brain waves are been collected. Okay, so as I've said earlier, that these are mostly the tools we have heard about when they are that ethical concerns, legal concerns, even scientific concerns are there. Okay, am I audible now properly? Okay, okay. I'm really sorry. The weather is really bad here. Okay. Uh, okay, we'll move further. Okay. As I said, narco means numb. Okay. Ashes, the drug which is used in narco, it is sodium pentothal. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I
Okay.
hope everyone got. Yes. Okay. So what happens is and the suspect goes into a semi-conscious state. It is not exactly sleep, it is not exactly the awake, but it is a semi-conscious state. So when you feel like you are drunk, okay, this is not exactly as same as drunk, but you feel like you are drunk. So what exactly happens? The drug, when it is administered, the prefrontal lobe function like consciously we have to have function in the frontal lobe, which like when we want to defend something or we want to lie, then the frontal lobe has so the person who goes in the narco, let's say the when the drug sodium pentothal is being administered, the person won't be able to lie or the person won't be able to defend him or herself. So the subject becomes more suggestible and less likely to lie. It is not something we can tell he or she want 100% lie, but yes, the person is very much less likely to lie. Okay. So it is called truth serum, but it is not very scientifically like foolproof that every person who takes this who is been administered by this truth serum will or will never like it will be like 100% truth and he or she won't lie at all. Like it is less likely, but we cannot say it is 100%. Okay, so there are procedures we considered, there are protocols that we considered, that before the test there is always a medical screening. The suspect comes, there is a time gap of 1 week. So when the suspect comes, he or she is being interviewed first of all. Then the consent is being taken. Then the person is told to go and have a medical screening. For example, the person is not suffering from any kind of mental illness. The person is not on drugs or any kind of addiction. The person does not have heart disease. The person is in a proper health. So these things are very much important, that the suspect is not having any kind of danger when the test is being performed. Then there is a pre-screening, which is called like pre-interview. The interview where we ask the suspect about the scenario, what exactly happened according to him. Then we, as a forensic psychologist, uh, we note down the statements. Also, we ask the person to write the statement with his or her signature, so that when we administer the test, narco test, we ask the same scenario and there is no changes. So what happens in ethical, we can say here ethically, that if we don't take the signature of the person, that he told the scenario and we don't take the signature in the in written that the person have told this, and we will ask the same things in the narco, then the person has the right that he was not aware that he would be questioned this kind of things when he was in semi-conscious state. So yes, every tool we actually tell the suspect that we are going to ask them this. Okay, so same happens in narco. Okay, then the sodium pentothal is been injected. Sorry, then the person after the pre-interview, in the morning itself or maybe afternoon itself, the before the person has anything they have eaten, they are taken to hospital, or either there is a hospital like settings in forensics lab where there are three people, three to four people, and not more than that. So there is a forensic psychologist, there is an anesthetologist, and there is a proper physician doctor. Sometimes we call psychiatrist. It is much needed that a psychiatrist should be present. So the uh, sodium pentothal is been injected. It is not one time injection, but the drops, or you can say milliliters, are being injected at a proper particular given time. Like let's say after 1 minute, after 2 minutes, after 3 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes. And the narco test is about 1 to 2 hours. It goes more than 1 hour mostly. So when the narco test is being performed, the same span of time the sodium pentothal is being given to the person in an interval of time, like same interval of time. Sorry. Okay. After that, the person is not able to exactly come out of the semi-conscious state. He or she goes to an sleep, or maybe he or she might go through some kind of like unconscious state. So the while the uh, person after the, I'm talking about after the test. So after the test, it takes a person for 1 to 2 hours to get into his or her conscious state, to come out of uh, the drug. Okay. So while the test has been performed, the person is kept awake. So what exactly happens, that the drug is so powerful, sometimes the person might sleep. From semi-conscious state, the person can go into unconscious state. So a little jerk of your little jerk of the hand on, not exactly slap, but a little jerk of hand is been uh, like, मतलब थोड़ा मारना नहीं, but थोड़ा the person is kept little bit in semi-conscious state, because if he or she goes in sleep, the whole procedure have to be again conducted after a few days. So the questions, there are no questions, there are the scenarios that are being asked. Let's say for example, the person is being asked from the like the crime has happened on the day, let's say in the morning. Then from exactly night, the narration is being started. The narration is being asked that have you did this, where were you, were you there. The person answers in the semi conscious state. So when there is no relevant control question, relevant question, there is nothing. The whole scenario or the whole crime, the day which the crime has happened, is been asked in continuous state, and it has been recorded in an audio video. Like the video has it is not just video, it is also audio. So still the person, we see that the person is not psychologically affected, or the person is psychologically affected. So we take the statement of the person again, that if it matches from the as I told, as I've, so pre-interview is kind of a control test, and then the relevant while the narco is going on, the relevant questions are asked, and then there is a post test. So and after in narco, if the statement has been changed, then the person might be lying, but the statement is same, then we consider it as uh, like negative, or we can say there is nothing, no truth in that statement. Am I audible, right? People, am I audible? Okay, thank you. Not clearly, ma'am. Okay. uh, okay, should I rejoin? Okay, okay, I'll rejoin. Yes. Yes, am I audible? Yes, am I audible? Okay, I'm audible, right? Okay. Now am I audible? Yes. Now am I audible? Okay, okay. So, do you guys have any question for the procedure of narco? Because I know I was my voice was cracking a lot. So please, if you have any questions, please can you write it in the chat box? I will discuss that again. Yes, anyone who was not able to understand what I was speaking, still not audible. Okay, can I move further? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, can I move further? Okay. So what exactly happens? The process, or we can say the biological process, what it happens? The drug reduces the activity of prefrontal cortex, which is decision making, self control, or we can say not telling the truth. So while the sodium pentothal is being administered, the we can say it can go into the hypnotic stage, but not exactly hypnosis happens. Okay, let me be just very clear. There is no hypnosis happening in the narco test. So this is a myth which is been spread in media, as well as it has been spread in society, that hypnosis is being done in narco, but which is not true at all. So it is a hypnotic like stage. It is a semi conscious state, or we can say a state which which where the decision making, or we can say self control, is been lessened, not completely gone. Okay, I repeat again. Decision making and self control is not 100% gone, but it is very lessened to an extent such as 90%. It has been suppressed. Okay, so there are some limitations to it. Let's say, for example, if we tell the person that while they are narrating the scenario of a forensic psychologist or a psychologist who is working in FSL is narrating a scenario. If by mistakes you tell a lead, you don't have to tell a lead. There are only questions. As an interviewer during the narco test, there are only questions. You cannot tell the person that this happened. Okay. For example, let's say if someone from here is in a narco test, I am telling the person that were you there that time? What did you do on that day? What were you doing before that? So I cannot tell the person that you were doing this, you were doing that. So even by mistake, I cannot tell this statement. I can only question, I cannot tell, because that is something which creates an imprint in a person's mind, which goes into a subconscious level, which is not really professional, not ethical, not even legal, which hinders the knowledge of the person. Okay, yes, am I clear upon this? Okay, people, tell me which case is this. Anyone who can name the case? Yes, Nithari killings. Have you seen the sector 36? Yes, we can use a question, but we cannot make a lead. Okay, it is Nithari killings. Okay, so it is really a great movie to see because it just not shows that how the killings were happened, but it even shows that how the person's psychology was created, how the person, uh, let's say the offender, he went through things which made him do so. Okay, I'm not justifying his doings, but yes, as a psychologist or even a forensic scientist who wants to go into investigation should know that this is a part of criminal profiling, that every offender, not every but most of the time, offenders are those who have gone through something or the other while they were in their childhood, which led them to cruelty. Yes, not all, but most of them. So, as we, I guess most people know that Sector 36 is the movie, and there was a case called Nithari killing. Maro kato wali feelings. Okay, yes. Okay. When the person who is doing murder, okay, or let's say after he or she is doing a ritual. For example, in this case, exactly what he used to do, he used to murder, but after that, he used to cut the body of the victim. So, it is not just some fun, normal fun, but it is mostly related to their gratification, their reward system. They, some or the other, they get a gratification from cutting or maybe murdering or killing someone or to see someone else in pain. Okay, yes, sometimes we as a human being feel maro kato wali feeling is uh, creepy, but the brain of this offender was so wired in a way that the maro kato wali feeling, uh, the cutting of the bodies made him feel a thrill, a gratification, let's say a sexual gratification. Okay, that's why he was doing it again and again. It was a kind of addiction to do, to have the feeling again and again. It was nothing, not something out of you say, not something out of anger he was doing, but it was out of gratification or the reward system he was getting by killing and cutting the people, the victims. Okay, so the case was actually the case was very much informative. Like in exactly sector 36, it was more, many of the information was not shown in the movie as it was a movie, but there were many things when we read a court file, the statements or the judgments, we can find it online also. So if you see that the person have gone through a sexual abuse by his uncle, the offender, he continuously was under sexual abuse by the uncle, the offender. Okay, then when he got to release his satisfaction, he get to release, there was a release of stress, there was a reward system which he then became an addiction by killing people and killing the childrens mostly and cutting the body parts. Okay, just a second. So we were talking about that in Nithari killings, both the offender and the Surinder Kohli and Mohinder Singh Pandey both went under narco analysis. So it was revealed that so much gruesome details, but later they both of them contradicted themselves. When there was post interview, they contradicted themselves, and even in courts, they rejected what exactly the narco analysis, the reports of the narco analysis told. So this can happen. Okay, so if I say I've told already told that the psychological tools are just a support evidence but not exact evidence. So it was not considered as a whole, like it was not considered that they exactly did these things, because in court they denied the allegations which were given by the narco report. Okay, so this was the conclusion related to the narco analysis, what exactly happened in Mithari case. So this investigation shows us that narco has a value. We can get so much information, we can get details, but it does not have a very good legal value. Okay, so consents, yes, consents are very much needed pre-interview and even after post-interview it is much needed. So there is a high risk of suggestibility or false memories if the procedure is not performed properly by the interviewer. Okay, so there is sometimes there while performing the narco, if the person is imagining or it is truth, that too we cannot exactly tell. Also, the narco analysis can be psychologically harmful to the person because it can lead to addiction, or we can say a kind of like if the person is going through maybe the drug. It is the drug is obviously it is a drug. It is addictive drug, and if the person is going through the drug, and if he or she goes into addiction, then it will be a legal question that because of the drug, a person because of this narco drug people can go into different kinds of addiction as well. So it violates the ethical standards if not done with safety and without consent. It is done, then it can violate ethical issues. Okay, we'll now discuss about BEOS. BEOS, as we call it, brain electrical oscillation signature. So it was developed by Indian neuroscientist Dr. C.R. Mukundan, and it was really a pleasure that when I was working in in DFS, Gandhinagar. He himself was present there. He's in a great age now, but he himself was present, and we have learned a new tool. It was BCI brain. It was a new tool which was been introduced in FSL. So he himself was there at that time. So he was sharing that how exactly the brain, the BIOS was being created. Okay. Uh, okay. So exactly what happens in BIOS that the brain waves are being detected, and it is on the knowledge of the event. If the person is not having the knowledge of the event of or the suspect have any kind of amnesia, okay, if the person have forgotten about the event, we are not able to conduct this test as such. Okay, so the subject, as I told, it is a kind of EEG records of the brain. So it doesn't require a person to speak or act or do anything. Just here in a state where he or she is not sleeping or not either dreaming. We have to look out to that the person is not daydreaming, the person is listening to it carefully, the person is not imagining any other things. Then we are not able to get the exact brain waves when he is hearing the scenarios. Okay, as I told, the blue cap, the photo which I have shown, the blue cap with the electrodes, the multiple electrodes, they are EEG cap. It is called EEG cap. It is placed on the the suspect's head, the subject's head, we can tell. Just, just a second. Okay. Also, there is a procedure for brain mapping as well, that the suspect is been bought, suspect is been psychologically tested. If the person is not having any mental illness or any kind of hallucination, delusion, okay, if the person, there is a mini mental status examination which is conducted when before the BIOS test is been administered, to know that the person is in right mind, if the person is aware about his surroundings, where he or she is, or he or she has a good hearing power, or he or she is not exactly deaf, because everything depends on hearing, that if the person is able to hear and perceive the knowledge. So experiential knowledge is not equal to guilt. Okay, it shows that the person has encountered the event in reality, means the person have seen or is was present at the event. Okay, we can only get out we can only get the information of the event that the person was present, that's it. We cannot know exactly what he used as a murder weapon. Okay, let's say if I in polygraph I can ask the person, you have used knife, he will tell no, you have used this, he will tell no. So this can also be useful to find the weapon of the crime weapon. Okay, but BIOS is something that can only tell me, or that tell the officers or a forensic psychologist that the person was present at the time of the event. Okay, so yes, so as I explained, I think everyone got what is experiential knowledge. Okay, yes. See, one more example. If someone actually stabbed a knife, okay, in a, let's say in a non-living thing like a cupboard, a bench, or a chair, their brain will store that, the brain will store a memory which is sensory and emotionally. Okay, but the person have not exactly killed someone. So this can also reflect in the BRIOS. So this is a glitch, or we can say error, we cannot eradicate from the scenario. Okay, okay, yes, yes, people, can you understand me? Can you understand the example? Am I audible, or if still I'm my voice is glitching? Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, okay, thank you. Okay. So if there are two so there are detection of two memories and experiential knowledge if the person was present at the scene or not, and the second is neutral memory. If I was not present, let's say, so the brain waves will be different and there will be a neutral memory, and the computer or the PC or the analysis will show out that the person have not experienced the event. Okay, yes. So the brain signals are interpreted to suggest the involvement but not exactly the guilt. Okay? Yes. We have discussed this earlier, but can you tell me which case is this? Yes, people? Arushi, yes. Arushi Talwar case. Yes. Right. Talwar case. Okay. How many, we are not here to debate, but how many people think that parents were innocent?
Hello.
Yes? Yes, people. Sorry, am I audible or okay? I am asking how many of you think that the parents were innocent? You can raise your hand, you can write in the chat box as well. Okay, okay. So, first of all, we will, as a scientific committee, we will rely on the facts of the court that the lack of evidence because of the lack of evidence of normal things like, let's say, even if I don't know exactly evidences, but due to lack of evidences, due to lack of matching of the scenarios, there is a law that even lack of evidences means they are suspects, so they were convicted. So when the BEOS was conducted, we all know that the BEOS was conducted on Rajkumar. Okay, Rajkumar, yes, you know Rajkumar, the domestic worker. Okay, you can search this on Google. So BEOS was conducted on Rajkumar, and it showed that there was experiential knowledge, means the knowledge of the event. But media hyped it so much that court rejected it. You understand? It was it was so high profile case that uh, the reports, or you can say the conclusions, were out in media. We don't know how, but the Rajkumar, who was the worker there, he showed experiential knowledge that he was present there at the event. But media hyped it so much, and the court denied it. So this is something we can consider that even if we knew, even if we got a right report, sometimes due to society, let's say people in media, let's say some authority, we are not exactly able to prove, or we cannot put this as evidence, or which is not considered as evidence in real life. Okay, So yes, I too think that the parents were not innocent, because as we see, like, all of you guys can even read the court procedures and what exactly evidence were shown and what exactly went through. So according to the statements which were controversing themselves, the parents first gave some other statement, then again they changed their statement. And even the domestic workers, let's say the people, the people who are helping them in the house, not the parents, they were also contradicting their statements. So this created big chaos, which we were not able to exactly conclude the crime or the case, which is so called Arushi Talwar. Okay, we'll move further. Anyone know this case? Yes. Anyone? I'll check the chat box. No, no, it's not Jolly Joseph. It's Abhaya case. It's about nun. Yes, it's about a nun's death in Kerala. So what exactly happened? Same in Abhaya case. It was a murder case. The nun, as you can see, the nun was been murdered. So the priest who was suspects went under BEOS test. They were uh, they were having an experience, the knowledge of the event. So the problem, actually what happened in the case was, the BEOS the detected event they the people, the priest with them, while they were in BEOS, the experiential knowledge was been detected, the knowledge of event was been detected. But sometimes it happened that it was not upheld very legally, right? Like, for example, it as I said in further cases as well, that the court didn't accept it, that the priests were also at the priests were there at the event, because some evidence only pointed out to a particular accused, not the priest, not there were like two to three suspects, but not there were two who knew that the BEOS, who knew the event, but the evidence, the forensics evidence was not pointing out to the two people who were showing that they were present in the event in the BEOS. So this kind of mess up happened. We too don't exactly know, even the media don't know what exactly happened. Only the people, let's say forensics expert or the court or the lawyers know. So this messed up even caused, uh, it caused that legally BEOS won't be accepted for this case. Okay. So we can see here that, same as polygraph, even BEOS can be used in investigative too. Let's say if we want to link a crime, we want to know if the person was present or not, we want to know that who were present or who can be considered as suspect, then we can use BEOS. Okay, BEOS is also not a tool to know that someone is guilty. Okay. So here is the differentiation between the three of them: polygraph, narco, and BEOS. So in polygraph, we have the suspect have to stay at his most conscious state to answer the question yes or no. In narco, it is semi-conscious state. The person tells yes, no, and gives more information. And in BEOS, The person cannot even be in an imaginative state, or the person cannot even daydream. It will hinder the reports, it will hinder the graph of BIOS. I would say the result, or the wave which is been the sorry the waves which are been detected by the machine. So polygraph measures stress response, narco measures verbal responses, and BIOS, it measures only brave wave recognition. So it is not exactly, BIOS is not exactly which tells it is guilty, but yes, it will show that the person has an experience or was there at the event. Polygraph is mediumly invasive, as I said, that even as a human being, uh, knowing, or someone is knowing that your BP is going up and down, your breath is going, you are having an respiration, that can also mean an invasive, but not as invasive as narco. So polygraph is mediumly invasive. Narco is very highly invasive. As we can see, the drug is being injected in the person for a long period of time, let's say more than an hour. And BIOS is not really invasive. So
Hello.
okay, so polygraph requires cooperation, as it is the person have to tell yes or no. Narco also requires cooperation because the person have to answer verbally, they have to tell the statements, they have to answer the questions which are being asked. And in BIOS, the person just have to listen. There is nothing they have to do, just listen and be alert. Okay. So legally, polygraph is limited. Narco can be used in investigative, like an investigative tool. If for my point of view, polygraph, narco, BIOS, three of them should be used in investigative tool. But as per legal system in India, polygraph is used after the court has the trial has been started, and the court gives a permission to know if the suspect is guilty or not. Because a little bit of we can know through polygraph that the person was guilty or not. But by BIOS, we cannot know if the person is guilty or not. Same narco, we can we can tell if the uh, person did the crime or did the event, matlab offend. But the problem same, it arises of the ethical issues, that it was not being misled, or the lead was not inculcated, or the sentence was not inculcated into the memory of the person. Okay, yes. Okay, what are exactly public perspectives nowadays? That people think narco is a truth serum, BIOS is a mind reading. Yes, both are accurate. Obviously, narco is a truth serum, BIOS is a mind reading, but it is not, truth serum is not 100% a truth serum. Because if a person is, even if the person in semi conscious mind, the person has a guard up, if the person is very defensive, the person won't speak up. There are many cases where the person went through narco, but the suspect went through narco, even though indirectly the police knew that the suspect, particular suspect, was a offender. Still the suspect didn't tell any word in narco. So this can happen. It depends on person's defense system as well, that how much a person is defending the memory, how much the person is defending the lie. Okay, yes. So okay, thank you so much for listening to me carefully. We can discuss some of the questions. So this discussion questions will be an assignment which would be required in a document form, or let's say PDF form. Okay. Okay, any questions till now, please? You can ask. Yes, Arul, you were right, it is Abhaya. Okay.